Hello, my name is Ben.
And my name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates.
So it is a new episode of FPL Fridays. Today we have another real baller on. It is Joe. Say hello to everyone.
You're right, guys. How you doing? And you don't just have one of the real ballers, you have the realest of the real ballers.
Hey, that's down to interpretation. But yeah, another Real Ballers. If you haven't already, please, after this video, go and check out the Real Ballers podcast, weekly episodes, and we're just talking everything about football. Lots of debate, and a couple of arguments here and there, but that's just disagreements about football because it's a game of opinions.
Yeah, definitely. Something soothing for you to get your ears on. So Joe, Liverpool fan, tell us why you support them, how it's happened.
Yeah, so basically, I kind of just got passed through the family. My granddad was a Liverpool supporter, and then obviously my dad was massively into football, and he picked up Liverpool. It's kind of just gone with the family, and then I wasn't too big into football until like the age of I'd say around until I was like 13. I started getting really involved with football and really getting the passion for the club, and then I picked up myself.
Good
yes,
stuff.
Very interesting, very interesting. As we know, in previous seasons, Liverpool have had some really good FPL assets. This season, is it the same? Top 3 assets for Liverpool?
Yeah, Mo Salah, I think definitely has to be in there. He's been contender for the Golden Boot. He's actually won a Golden Boot, 2 Golden Boots, and he's contender for last season. So I think Salah's just a goal machine. He's reliable when it comes to points. I think Robertson already, he's got 2 assists, correct me if I'm wrong, this season. As a defender, is quite good. I thought Trent would have been a better. He's having a slow start, but I think he will pick up the pace. But I don't think he's worth the 7 mil. So I think if you were to go for Jota, someone who's not as expensive but still quite reliable for the goals.
Yeah, definitely 3 really good options there. Quite high ownership on all of them, which is understandable why. So yeah, have a look at them. I know I've got a couple in. What about you?
Yeah, well, not currently.
None
at the moment, but I'm being patient because I don't know how well they're going to play against Brighton, so I have to wait and see. If they come back with a bang, a different performance to how they play against Atalanta, then I can see myself bringing Salah back in.
We shall see.
Let's get into reviewing Joe's team. Now, how did you get on in the last game week, and what's your fantasy football team kind of looking like at the moment?
I got on okay, but I got 69 points, great score, but triple captain on Bruno Fernandes. I thought he could have done better. I wish he would have got more goals, but I'm happy he did score the penalty, obviously getting me 33 points this week. So I was fairly happy with that. Also, Calvert-Lewin getting me a decent amount of points, and Kurt Zouma, they were the 3 main players. There's a couple of players who did let me down, like Jamie Vardy. You know, even if Liverpool did lose 3-1 and Vardy got a goal, I wouldn't have been the most upset. But Ken got an assist for me, so he got me 4 points. And then my whole defence, besides from Zouma, kind of blanked to Ryan with 3 points. Mings and Walker Peters all with 1 and 3. So it wasn't great. Same with Grealish with a blank. But still a decent week because of Bruno.
Very interesting. Triple captainship played. I think that's the first time so far that someone's played it. And obviously,
I mean, it's paid off. I mean, 33 points, still a decent score. At least they return. That's the big thing with the triple captain.
Yeah, like even if you play it in a double game week, it's not necessarily mean you're guaranteed a return, as Ben would know.
Yeah, I do know that, unfortunately. But you know what? Chin up. We go again. Just because your triple captain gets let down doesn't mean you can't beat your mates in the FPL mini leagues.
We shall see.
Time for my favourite part of the show. It is Test Your Guess. Now, Josh, how do the rules work? Because I know the viewers may know, but Joe may not know, so you need to fill them in.
Obviously, so we have 60 seconds on the clock. It's going to be trivia questions, either about Liverpool or FPL, or indeed both. So you have to answer as many as you can. Our highest score so far has been 7 from Ben Lewington in game week 1. We've had a lot of close shaves, but no one's cut the mustard yet.
Hey, you've got to basically, you don't want to be last, really.
Yeah, Lewis G, I'm sorry, mate.
It's the weekly mention of Lewis G's 2-pointer. So how confident are you feeling for this?
I don't know. I'll see after the first question.
So remember, we only have 60 seconds, so it's going to be quick fire. Get your answers in. Josh, get that 60 seconds on the clock. Joe, are you ready?
I am.
3, 2, 1. How much is Mo Salah on FPL at the time of recording?
12.5.
Wrong. Who has played the most minutes in the Premier League for Liverpool this season?
One Adam.
Incorrect. How many clean sheets have Liverpool kept so far this season?
0.
2.
1.
How many goals has Sadio Mane scored in the Premier League so far this season?
3.
4. One current Liverpool player is in the top 5 for all-time Premier League appearances for the club. Who is it?
Jordan Henderson.
Correct. Who was the team Liverpool played in the semi-final of their 18-19 Champions League winning season?
Roma.
Oh yeah. Who scored the most FPL points in Liverpool's 3-0 win over Leicester in the last game week?
Robertson.
Correct. Who has taken the most shots for Liverpool this season?
Salah.
Correct. And Van Dijk is Liverpool's record signing, but who is the second most expensive signing of all time for Liverpool?
Alisson, right?
We'll give him that, because he started the question.
Exactly.
So, scores are counted up. Joe got 4 points. I mean, it's not bad. We've seen better, but we've also seen a lot worse. So, Joe, how do you feel about your score?
I would have liked to get 1 or 2 more. I thought I had the Salah one. I'm not gonna lie. The very first question. I was convinced he was 12.5 mil.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
12.5 mil at the start of the season, and he's dropped 0.3 million.
Yeah, because of his COVID outbreak. But yeah, really good. I was worried for you after the first 30 seconds. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, we move on to the next segment. So moving on, we're talking about the captain of the week this week. Who we're going to be captaining and who is probably the best captaincy options. My favourite part, in my opinion, I love captains. They're where you get those juicy point hauls. So Ben, who are you going for this week?
So, as much as I want to go with Mahrez, my City asset, because Pope is out at the weekend and that is big, I'm going to say Bruno Fernandes. He's away at Southampton, and every time he's been away from home with Manchester United, he's got double-digit hauls. The boy loves points, and he feasts on double-digit returns.
Yeah, he's very good. He's only not scored in a game that Man United have once this season. That was the very first game week. He's playing fantastic, and if Man United do something, usually it is Bruno Fernandes that does. For me, I do have Bruno. I think he's a good option, but he's not a good option as Jamie Vardy against Fulham. They've been one of the worst defensive sides this season. He's just scored in Europa League. He's good. He's in form. Oh, I'm ready. I'm hoping. I captained him last week. He blanked. If he blanks this week, Josh ain't coming on next week.
Yeah, might have to have a new presenter here with me. So the applications are open after the Leicester Fulham game if they do blank. Now, Joe, who's going to be your captain of the week? Obviously, we've got the famous guest captain league board, which is very prestigious. So who are you going to go for?
Yeah, I have to agree with Josh. I think Fulham's backline is just terrified of Jamie Vardy, and Jamie Vardy is just looking at them with a vengeance. So I'm hoping I'm going to captain. I would say he'll get 2 goals against Fulham. Fingers crossed.
Oh, that sounds great to me.
That sounds right. I'm kind of worried. Should I get Vardy in or not? But he's going to go on the board, and let's see if Joe can climb up this leaderboard, and we'll see where he is at the start of next week's episode.
Yeah, and we always had game week 9. We had 2 captains last week, just to give them a shout out. We had Millsy with a massive 22 points. He's gone straight up to second in the captain leaderboard, and then Glenn captain Aubameyang for
6 points.
6 points.
6 points.
Not great, Glenn, and he's back. He was really backing him, wasn't he?
He was backing him.
So we're going to be talking about the ones to watch of the week. This player has to be under 10% owned and a little bit of a differential. So Ben, you can kick us off.
I'm going to persist with the guy I've had in since my wild card has been made, Riyad Mahrez. Now, I know looking at his points, he's had 1 return this season, and that was against Leicester in the 3rd game week, I think.
Yeah, they got smashed.
3rd game week where they lost 5-2 and he got 12 points. Since then he hasn't got any points. But playing against Burnley, at home, with no Nick Pope in goal, I think it's time for him to finally start returning. I can see him maybe grabbing a goal and an assist at 2.3% owned. Even though City aren't firing on all cylinders, this could be the turning point of their season. And it's not a confident pick for differential of the week for me, but I'm hoping slightly that he will do something magical. And he didn't play much in midweek. He only played 15 minutes against Olympiacos, whereas Foden played the full 90. So I believe Mahrez will start this game and and hopefully he'll do something for the FPL community out there, because he hasn't done much this season, but I expect him to get some points this week.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting pick. Man City is an interesting team because they're struggling to score right now, but then like Burnley do have Nick Pope out, who's really instrumental into them keeping clean sheets. So it'll be interesting to watch that game. We'll come to you, Joe, next. Who's your differential this week?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Richarlison. I think where we saw when Everton don't have him, they're a bit of a loss. He obviously has a wicked cross into Richarlison, so I think he might even pick himself an assist this week.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we saw he came back this week, just gone, and they came back to winning ways. It was a very good performance from Everton. Calvert-Lewin obviously getting most of the goals, but Richarlison's a good differential pick instead of Calvert-Lewin. For me, I'm going with someone who I've mentioned before, and for some reason a lot of people are overlooking him, even though I think he's probably one of the best strikers at that price range. I'm going to go for Che Adams of Southampton. He's still only owned by 4.9% of players, which is kind of crazy because he's basically carrying all of that Southampton attacking input. I know they have Man United next, but Man United haven't looked fantastic this season defensively, and especially at home. I think Southampton could benefit from that. He's 5.9 million. I think if he's probably him or Bamford, it's a tough one.
I think Bamford is probably the reason why Che Adams is such a low ownership, because everyone's on him, and in the template you don't tend to have two strikers at that sort of price range.
Yeah.
So it's probably the reason why Che Adams hasn't got high ownership. But if you're looking to get into that price bracket, look no further than Che Adams.
Yeah, he saves you like 0.2 million as well. So I reckon towards the end of the season they both will have pretty much the same points. So he's a great differential.
Little bit of a change to what we usually do. We're going to run down the key fixtures. We're not going to go through every fixture like we do weekly. It's a little bit too long, and you know what? We need to give you the key points to what to look out for this weekend, don't we?
Exactly. So we're going to start off. Friday's a bit boring, not a fixture we want to look at, but Saturday we're looking at Brighton versus Liverpool. We've touched on it quickly. There's a lot of high-owned assets for Liverpool, especially in attack. How do you think they're going to fare?
I think it's going to go quite similar to what, you know what? I don't know. To be truthfully honest, I think they could struggle to break this Brighton team down. I think a lot of people are overlooking them, and I don't know whether there's going to be many goals in this. Yeah,
I don't see a real big haul coming in, that's for sure. Obviously, Brighton faced Aston Villa last week, and they played very, very well and kept a really strong Aston Villa attack away. So very interesting. But moving on, the next game after that is Manchester City, and they're, I think, away to Burnley. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
They're at home. They're at home to Burnley. So yeah, they obviously have been struggling to score, but Burnley don't have Nick Pope.
Yeah, I mean, City have struggled to score, but Burnley without Nick Pope, big miss, as we've touched on before. It just depends whether City get that early goal, really, to whether they're going to get a big points haul from their players, really. We'll move on to another big game, Southampton against United. This is another one with lots of key interest. Defensively for Southampton, a lot of people own McCarthy and Kyle Walker-Peters. Whether they start them or not, we don't know. But Manchester United, there'll be a lot of people, including myself, probably, if I don't change my mind, that will be captaining Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, obviously we've already discussed in this video how well he's played. United in general have picked it up a little bit in terms of going forward in the recent weeks, but it's questioned defensively whether they can keep Southampton quiet, that a lot of teams, especially Wolves who have been so good defensively, haven't managed to do so. The next game on the Sunday, we're talking about Tottenham versus Chelsea. It's at Stamford Bridge. Lots of assets from both teams. I know a lot of people have Chelsea defensive assets, a lot of people have Harry Kane and Son. How's it going to go?
I don't know, like, it's a really tight one, because this could go one of two ways. Chelsea could come out, play really nice expansive football and get the goal and look quite comfortable, but Tottenham could make it really difficult, and I think it depends on who gets that early goal. I think whoever scores the first goal is going to go on and win, because both these teams, we've seen when they go ahead, they tend to really hold on to leads quite well, and Chelsea especially have massively improved under Lampard. Mourinho's got Tottenham playing in a different way this season. Defensively look a lot more solid, so it goes down to who really wants to score that first goal.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people obviously been backing Harry Kane and Son. It paid off last week, but will it pay off again? I can't see them returning consistently over this tricky period. It's just going to be a bit too much in my opinion. But the next game and the last game we're going to speak about is going to be Leicester as they host Fulham. It's a huge game. I know a lot of people will be captaining Jamie Vardy in this. Let's just hope he returns.
Yeah, it's another Monday night game, so those people who are captaining Vardy, they've got to wait a bit of time to know whether their game week's going to be a good one or a bad one. Big game. I'm not sure. I don't know whether I can see Vardy returning. I think it will be through a penalty if he does return.
Big call. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously Monday night, it's a massive game. But yeah, that has been the fixture rundown.
Time to go on to Manager of the Week. We're going to have a look at the FPL Graduates League. As always, we'll leave the league code down below. It's in our Twitter as well. The Manager of the Week is Steve Cotgrove with Havertz Got a Clue as his team name. So I assume he's a Chelsea fan. He got 93 points this week, a huge total, with the triple captain of Bruno Fernandes. He also had Dominic Calvert-Lewin in his team. He had Son vice captain. Jota he had in early 9-pointer. Robertson and Kufau on defence. So there's a few different players in there that he's got. Jimenez got an assist. So over the board he's got quite a few returns, but not as many as you'd expect. He's got Aubameyang in there as well. There's quite a few players in that team that didn't return, so he could have got a huge score if he'd had some players that maybe got a few more points. But 93 points, what an absolute great week. Good triple captain choice, Bruno Fernandes, and it seems like the theme of the week is going to be the triple captain of Bruno.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously the captain pick is so crucial every week. It changes your game week, so make sure you pick the right one. The top of the league, it's remaining the same. It's Agon Naziri. He's on 613 points. He's top on alphabetical order. Big decisions there from FPL, but we're going in. He's got 76 points last week. He has 613 points overall. He has the likes of McCarthy, Conser, Chilwell, Walker-Peters, Son, Calvert-Lewin captain this week, Kane, Werner, and then the standard midfield of Ziyech, Rodriguez and Grealish. Really, really nice team. And yeah, it's good to see a lot of competitiveness in the league, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really, really close up at the top of the league. Wow. I wish we could be up there, but we're not quite performing as well as we thought this year. But hopefully we can get back up the leagues and start climbing and start catching some of you.
Okay, so we're going to do one more thing before we wrap up the video. I'm going to ask Joe how he thinks Liverpool are going to fare against Brighton. Obviously Liverpool, they've been playing all right. They've lost their first home game in a very long time to Atlanta in midweek. So obviously a bit shaky. They were playing a rested team, but how do you think are they going to do, Joe?
I think we'll win 2-0 because Lamptey has the suspension, so I think that side of the pitch is obviously going to have a bit more freedom. I was tempted to say 2-1. I think I would have said 2-1 if they did have Lamptey, that bit more of a attacking aspect to the team. But I think we're gonna not cruise it, but hopefully we're not gonna put one of our more intense performances out there. Hopefully we can just get a simple 2-0 win.
Yeah, difficult game away at Brighton for Liverpool this weekend. Yeah. Be good to see how they get on. I mean, a lot of FPL managers will be interested in this game, see how they do. Yeah, but that wraps it up for another episode of FPL Fridays. Joe, thank you for coming on. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I have, yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks.
As always, please remember to like, to comment, to share this YouTube video all around, and make sure you follow Joe on TikTok. Lots of good content on there, lots of Premier League based content and Liverpool based content if you're interested in that. I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Joe.
And we'll see you
later.